If you wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm talking 2 or 3 a.m., and you feel like you are completely awake, then this video is for you. Hi friends, it's Monica. So today's video is for all of us people that are waking up in the middle of the night and just can't go back to sleep. You tried everything, like me. I've tried melatonin. I made my room as cold as a refrigerator. My poor husband can hardly sleep. No phone before bed. And I still was having the hardest time going back to sleep after I wake up in the middle of the night. Now for me, it happens like most of us probably. We get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and then we lay down, and now we're thinking about, oh, tomorrow I gotta call my sister. Oh, I gotta pay that bill. Oh, wait, I need to add this to my grocery list. You know how that goes, right? Our brains are going everywhere, and the last thing that our brain is thinking about is going back to sleep. So frustrating. You know, rest is so important, especially for us as we get older. I can't function if I don't get all my 7.5 hours of sleep. Of course, everybody's different, right? But we need to know, how can we get as many hours of sleep as possible and not be interrupted and just laying there, and then we just feel groggy all day. I absolutely hate that feeling. Don't you? First, let's normalize this. Getting up in the middle of the night, especially after 50, it's pretty normal. It happens to a lot of people. Our hormones have changed, our sleeping patterns are different. So it's really not the problem about waking up. It's how can we manage going back to sleep? See, our brains say, oh, you're awake? Okay, let's think. And suddenly you're replaying conversations, you're thinking about tomorrow, and you are reorganizing your entire life at 2:17 a.m. Once that happens, stress hormones kick in, and sleep just slowly starts moving away. See if you can relate with this. I personally have tried melatonin and all kinds of different supplements. I also tried different kinds of teas before I go to bed. I have cooled down my room to like a really low temperature. So they say that it's really healthy to go to sleep with your room temperature being a little bit lower. What else? I have a sound machine, and I do some breathing exercises sometimes before I go to bed. Oh, and no phone and no TV before I go to sleep. Now, I know all of those are great to fall asleep when you first go to bed, but it really do not help much when you wake up in the middle of the night and then you're trying to go back to sleep and your brain is completely awake. So I was researching and I learned about this method that is actually helping people fall back to sleep. And I thought, okay, I've heard it all. I don't know about this. This sounds kind of weird. What is this going to be like? But I decided, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm just laying there anyway thinking about stuff. So why don't try this? So let me share with you how this works. Okay, so at 2 a.m., our brains do not need solutions to all our problems or planning everything that we're going to do. It doesn't need that. What it needs is calm, safety, and something boring. See, trying harder to go to sleep, it wakes you up more. Sleep happens when our thoughts become loose, random, and absolutely unimportant. And that's where this technique comes in. Okay, so hear me out. Do not prejudge, because I didn't believe this until it worked for me. So what the technique says is, first is, of course, close your eyes and then lift your eyeballs up. And as soon as that happens, try it right now. For some reason, it just gives you some peace and calmness. All right, so that's number one. Next, you start thinking of random numbers in your head. Not 1, 2, 3, because that's way too organized. It's more like 20, 45, whatever comes to my head, 80, 28, 6. And you just think of these numbers with your eyes going upwards. There's no pattern, there's no goal, there's no nothing. It's just these random numbers are going through your head, okay? See, they say that this gives your brain something neutral so your brain doesn't spiral into worry. But here's the part that really helps me. If I'm still awake after I do those numbers for a while, then I switch the numbers into random objects, and I mean random. I think of a chair, door, toothbrush, palm tree, dog, anything that pops into your head, just random objects. You just think of it. So what's important here is that none of these things you're thinking connect with each other. So they don't mean anything, and that is the entire point of this. Wow. Because this mimics how our brain naturally drifts into sleep. See, our thoughts become scattered and almost nonsensical right before we start falling into sleep. And we're basically giving our brain permission to power down. I've been doing this for 2 weeks, and I cannot believe that this has actually helped. I would have never, ever believed it. But I will tell you that if you are sick and tired of laying there at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can't go to sleep because your brain is just working overtime, give this a try. Like I said, do it slowly, try it every night, here and there, switch over from numbers to items, or do both like I did at the beginning. But I have noticed that I am going right back to sleep within, I don't know exactly the time, but it feels like 5 minutes and I'm out. So basically this technique, it gives a simpler way for our brains to have something absolutely boring to think about and allow it to go slowly falling asleep. So tonight, if you wake up in the middle of the night, I will challenge you to try this and see what happens. First, remember, think of random numbers. If you're still not asleep, start thinking of random objects, and don't put pressure on you, no goal. Just try that and do this every time you are trying to go back to sleep. And eventually, think about it. It's been such a long time which our brains have been waking up and not learn anything about going back to sleep. We can't retrain it that quickly. But for me, it actually happened pretty fast, and I was so excited. Listen, after 50, so many things change, right? Our sleep patterns are different. So if we can do something to help that, I'm all in. So here again, I heard new things and I had to share this with you. So if you have an issue falling asleep, please comment below. Let me know what's going on. And if you try this and if you feel like it's kind of working for you, I would love to hear from you as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because as you know, I'm always here to share things that I learned and that I feel that I can help somebody out Hey, I'm all about that. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.